Welcome to another edition of Dolphins in Depth. I am your host, Miami Herald columnist Omar Kelly. Joining me is Isaiah Smalls, Miami Herald's Dolphins beat reporter. Isaiah, they keep using this term fire sale. And I'm thinking to myself, what exactly is a fire sale? Because I don't know anybody who has a fire sale. We got clearance sales. We got yard sales.
Yeah.
Please explain to me what's a fire sale.
I feel like a fire sale is similar to a clearance sale, right? It's a going out of business basically sale. Like, we're done right now. We're done right now at this location for the time being.
We're trying to clear out all our inventory.
All the merchandise. Everything that you want, we got it. You just name your price. So, that's where we at right now.
That's the point of the. That is indeed where we're at with the Miami Dolphins. If you have not been paying attention to, as this day in Dolphins land turns, Chris Greer, the general manager, got removed from his job. I like that term. See, removed from his job.
A lot better. Mutually parted ways. There's only so many different times you can say that.
Who mutually parts ways?
How do you willingly say I do not want a paycheck anymore? That doesn't happen.
No, nobody say that. Nobody say that. Especially when you got a contract. General manager Chris Greer has moved on. He's no longer the decision maker for the Miami Dolphins. Steve Ross made that decision on Friday of last week. Now he put in Champ Kelly as the interim decision maker, general manager. This is coincidentally the second time Champ Kelly has been an interim GM, following a stint with the Las Vegas Raiders last year. I've always wondered and thought to myself, and nobody has this answer. Nobody's provided me this answer yet, but I will get this answer.
Wasn't it?
Huh?
A couple years ago. Champ Kelly. Yeah, it was like 2023. It was Josh McDaniel. And that wasn't last year. That was the year before last, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
go ahead. Keep going. My fault.
I've always wondered why exactly him. And seemingly, I think I got the answer right now. In terms of on Monday, the Dolphins traded Jaylen Phillips, a former 2021 first-round pick, one of the top pass rate rushers on the team, a 3-year, if not 4-year starter for the Miami Dolphins. And they traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles for a 3rd-round pick. As an Eagles fan, Isaiah, how you feel about the trade?
I mean, look, like, it's interesting because I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to speak to this, right? So, like, I'm happy that the Eagles got a pass rusher because they needed one. They haven't really had a true guy out there since Hassan Reddick, and the team has been terrible rushing the passer over the last couple years since we got rid of Hassan Reddick. So it just kind of adds some depth there, and specifically because, Vic Fangio's a fan. He was on his way to a career season with under Fangio here in 2023 prior to tearing his Achilles. He probably would have gotten double-digit sacks. I think he had 6.5 through 8 games.
It was hot in that Jets game, too. It was, wow, they couldn't block him.
Exactly. So it reunites Fangio with a guy that he obviously has a lot of love for. And then, on the flip side, the Dolphins kind of made out okay because they got a 3rd rounder. I did not expect them to get a 3rd rounder. I thought that was a little bit of a high price. And even when I was talking with the homies, they're like, yeah, that was a bit of a high price, but I'm happy we got him. Right. But yeah, I think it was a good trade for both sides. It's not going to be a very high 3rd rounder, right? But a 3rd rounder to me is a 3rd rounder. Right?
A 3rd rounder is a 3rd rounder. It's in the 2nd day of the draft, whereas the 4th rounder is in the 3rd day of the draft. A couple things I want to say about that. Mm-hmm. I, again, was shocked that it was a 3rd rounder.
You're on freezing cold takes, man.
Yeah. I don't care about all that stuff.
I know you don't. I know.
Yeah. Like, and nobody tweets out the one that I said, which the Dolphins would be lucky and fortunate if the Eagles specifically named the team offered up a 3rd-round pick. Like, I'm like, because it's really going to be a late, it's going to be an early 4th, but I'm not haggling over the technicalities.
Oh.
And I was like, maybe the Eagles could get desperate. I always felt like, and I've said this on this podcast, Jaylen Phillips was Miami's top defender in my mind, talent-wise, young. He looks like an Adonis, physically fit, not durable, but there's some quick twitch and ability. If Jaelen Phillips had delivered on probably about half of the 10 sacks he's missed this season, he'd be looking at $100 million contract.
It's funny. That's exactly what I told the homie. I was like, look, he can get there. He might not bring the guy down, but he'll definitely get there. He'll get there for sure.
He'll get there, and then it'll be like the quarterback's wearing butt on his jersey. But eventually, I think Vic Fangio can teach him how to close.
Oh, of course, yeah. And I think you kind of improved on the interior, the guy that you're playing next to.
Absolutely.
Now you're playing against Jalen Carter, right?
Think about it. If you with Jalen Carter and your interior is already compromised, and then you're Jaelen Phillips, you're already over pursuing. By the time that quarterback backs up a little bit, right in my lane.
Yeah. So he should definitely benefit from that. He's like, him, Michael Carter II, the other guy that the Jets traded to the Eagles. Like, them boys I'm sure they excited a little bit because they went to bed, on 1 and 2 win teams. They woke up, at top of the NFC. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you don't want to move. There's a human side of it. I'm sure, the edge rushing room is a little bit dismayed, because there's probably more changes coming too.
You think he's the only one they're gonna try?
That's what I'm saying. But that's the question I ask everybody. I'm like, look, there's a lot of uncertainty. You saw one guy get dealt today. Like, what do you? I appreciate Alec Ingle because Alec Ingle gave a great response to my question when I asked him, like, how do you as a leader kind of communicate with the guys? Like, look, like we still got a job to do. Because the Buffalo Bills don't care that they're having a fire sale. They could care less. If anything, they're excited because Josh Allen not going to have to get chased around by Bradley Chubb anymore, right? So, but he had a great response just about, when you think about your goals, right, that you set over the course of the season, right? There's certain things that obviously might not still be attainable, but at the same time, like there's certain things that you promise to yourself, right? Whether that's showing up every day on time, whether that's like little things, right? And you can still achieve those, right? Like the big picture thing, it might not be there, right? It might not be there, but like you can still hold on to little things. And then also when you look at the big picture, right? When you think about this team in of itself, right? This is kind of when you kind of need everyone else to kind of, come together, right? A lot of times in football, specifically right now with how bad this team is, it's a lot of focus on the individual. Everyone just doing their assignments, right? Everyone making sure that they're good. Now this is a time where the team can kind of collectively focus on each other. Now, as I'm saying this out loud and I'm looking at your face, it sounds like a whole lot of bull. But
hey, but I'm gonna let you know because I'm a veteran of this. As I told one player was like, "How you know what's gonna happen?" I was like, "Bro, I've lived this like 3 times already." We are officially in protect your neck section of the season, which means I am looking out for myself. That's everybody. You are where you are. This impacts future employment. I promise you, Isaiah, you go hear 5 different quotes about the eye in the sky don't lie. Because the film you put out is going to determine what happens to you moving forward. Yeah. The effort that you put out determines what teams are gonna view you. Did you quit? Did you continue to fight? Nobody knows who's going to be making any decisions around here. Nobody knows what the 2026 Dolphins are going to look like. I do not buy anybody talking to me and telling me that Mike McDaniel is safe because Steve Ross loves him and wants to give him another opportunity. I'm sorry. If you believe that, I got some beachfront property in Idaho to sell you. Like, listen, if the team wins 7-8 games from this point out, yeah, sure, Mike will be around. We know what's going on. You see what's going on. Yeah. And probably by Tuesday, the team might be weaker. Bradley Chubb is still on the trading block.
Mm-hmm.
God
forbid they get Minkah about
Minkah is on the trading block. The question is, they're not going to give Minkah away.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's a market for a top-end market for safeties. But Minkah's a good player that could help a contending team finish off a championship run.
Yeah.
Problem is, the contending team that probably need him is the Buffalo Bills. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're not trying to pull the Cleveland Browns. It was funny. Like, I had one of my friends in the group chat was like, I'm going to just need Isaiah to break the news that they traded Waddle to the Patriots. I said, all right, this team might be bad, but they're not the Browns. They're not going to trade away, make an intra-division trade, and, end up regretting it.
Maybe the Giants.
I don't know. The Giants, to me, are so far away that, like, I don't understand, like, the purpose of giving up a Jalen Waddle, giving up, like, any of these guys, these names that have been floating around. It's because, to me, they're so far away. Like, that team only had a couple wins.
They had a little spark, and
they had a little spark. It was cool. Like, him and Jackson and Scatterboo hitting each other on the head. Like, that's cool. It was cool for like good 3 weeks. Yeah. But now,
now it's some film on you.
Yeah, now it's film on you.
Yeah.
Running back is hurt now. Running backs, I didn't even watch that. I didn't even see it. Everyone told me don't even look at it. But his ankle was pointing at him. Like, it's you know what I'm saying? It's all good. Maybe next year.
Yeah. I don't know what the team will look like.
Yeah, no, I have zero clue.
I don't know. Tuesday at 4 p.m. we might be doing another podcast because another major trade has been done. I don't know. Yeah. Champ Kelly is out here doing his thing. More power to you, my brother.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I tweeted out earlier, like he got a 3rd rounder for a guy on an expiring contract. Like that's kind of impressive. Granted, you had to pay some money for him, though. You had to pay off.
We don't know what that money is, and until I figure out that figure, I'm not for that.
All right, that's it. No, educate our audience about that, because the way I read it was they agreed to pay a significant portion of his salary to kind of push that 5th, 4th round or whatever they were initially offered to a 3rd. So correct me if I'm wrong.
They can pay up to all but 5. He's owed $6.2 million. They could pay a little over 5. Can doesn't mean you will.
Okay.
Now, Steve Ross has thrown $6 million to make a player go away before. We've done that a couple times. You just did that with Jalen Ramsey. Why he thinks that's necessary to make a 3rd, become a 4th, I don't really know. But I don't really know, because I've always looked at it from the standpoint of the guy who's making the selection, she's gonna screw up anyway. So it don't really matter where you pick it. That's old. That's old stuff. I'm thinking positive now.
That should have gone away Friday. That level thing should have gone away Friday.
Until I figure out who's gonna be replacing him.
That's true. I think that you brought up a good point. Like, I think just the level of uncertainty surrounding who Champ Kelly is, right? Because we haven't talked to him yet. I read that we're, once the trade deadline's over, we'll finally get a chance to talk to him, and we'll be sure to deliver that news to you guys. But we don't know his philosophy. We don't know what you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So until you have some sort of read on that, like, it's impossible to predict what this team will look like. Keep going. I'm sorry.
But from the Eagles standpoint, just think about it from this standpoint. The Dolphins, they already had a baseline of what they can get for Jaylen Phillips, which in an ideal world, a 4th round pick as a compensatory pick. Eagles, if they decide not to re-sign Jaylen Phillips and let him go in free agency, they're going to get a compensatory pick for him. So it's so the Eagles really put nothing into this situation. So props to Howie Roseman for making the best of a bad situation from the Dolphins. I'm curious to see what else happens with Miami in regards to players who are on the move, because be honest with you, I think there's a lot of players who want voted off the island. Like some of them ready to go. And we'll see.
Is that just based on just the direction of the team, 2-7? You just want greener pastures, or they're just legitimately, having a fire scale?
People don't the instability here does not benefit a player to be part of this.
That's fair. No, that's real. That's real.
Go impress Bradley Chubb, for example. Give you a perfect example. Bradley Chubb knows he's going to be cut. Man took $60 million pay cut to play this year. You think he wants to play for $3 million again next year? He could go somewhere and get a $6-7 million a year deal as long as he continues to be productive like this. Why would I want to stay here and play for a bad team that I'm not really getting much help to get my statistics when I could go to the Dallas Cowboys and make it work, make a run, be playing with better players, maybe make a favorable impression on Jerry Jones, make him want to re-sign me. Like
Cowboys, the Niners need some edge rusher help. You know, that's fair. There's definitely several teams that could benefit from.
A lot of them are shooting for Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. But
maybe Trey, but I don't know if Max is going to be.
You obviously didn't see what he tweeted out.
I did not see what he tweeted out. I thought last time I checked, he's very happy with his big fat contract.
They're always happy with the contract, but the contract can be moved to another team that's relevant and going somewhere and has management that believes in you and believes in the situation.
Who wants to take on all that money?
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, that's true, Jerry. But I thought he wasn't. The last report I saw on that was that Jerry Jones checked in on both of them, and they both.
Jerry Jones says he's got 2 deals already done, just haven't been announced.
Oh wow, okay.
Hey, we'll see. He said that on like ESPN.
Like today?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. But Jerry Jones loved to talk out his ass.
True, but hey, it is what it is. So my point is, I wouldn't be shocked if Jaylen Phillips is not moved. If somebody else other than Jaylen Phillips is moved. But think about it this way, and this is a column that I'm working on. The Miami Dolphins organization, do you know they have not released a single player who made this team in training camp in 9 weeks, despite having a 2-7 record?
I mean, yeah, I'm not surprised. Like, there hasn't been.
Okay. Yeah. So, a team that basically everybody's safe. Now, people getting voted, people, you tradable commodity, brother. It's a business now. We all that friendship, kiki, we family bull is going out the window now. Yeah. What can I get for you?
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But a lot of speculation about Tua Tagovailoa and his future. If we are organically tanking, and this is the organic part of it, you must allow Tua to continue to be the starter of the Miami Dolphins until he suffers an injury. If we are organically tanking, now if we are artificially tanking and putting some high fructose corn syrup into the mix, we got to sit Tua.
Yeah, that's real.
My argument to that would be exactly what is the benefit other than moving up 4 or 5 spots and being in a better position to pick the quarterback that you want if you've decided that you're ready to move on from Tua. I don't really know what the benefit is because what's the benefit?
I mean, you see what you have in Quentin. Like you see it with your own eyes.
You gotta practice with the real players for that.
I get it. I understand it. You just said that you don't see it. I'm just trying to help you get some vision right now.
Okay. So
like you know what I'm saying? Like I just, you drafted him, right? There's no way
in the 7th round.
Yeah, you're right. But you drafted him, you signed Zach Wilson, you had some sort of competition. You made him the backup
1 week.
The Falcons game. You're right. He came in, it wasn't terrible, right? It didn't look awful. But now I want to see with a week of preparation, a week playing with the starters, a week, as the guy, what it looks like. I'm not saying it's the right decision. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I'm just saying, just giving you an alternative scenario.
Well, here is Mike McDaniel addressing whether or not Tua is going to be riding the pine under his watch.
Obviously, shown our belief in him by, putting him in position and putting our resources towards him. But the speculative. All right, is anyone does anyone not have to adhere to accountability for whatever? I think all things in football are on the table, specifically things for this football team to win football games. But I'm far from even going down that direction of would've, could've, possible things. We have a football game against the Buffalo Bills that we are certain that Tua gives us the best chance to win, and we have to approach our jobs with diligence, and we have to execute. And Tua knows that heavy is the crown of being a franchise quarterback. That you with the anointment of being a franchise quarterback comes the consequences of having to be on top of your game, and we're all under the same scrutiny and have the same starting point of, all right, you are on the field to give us the best chance to win, and when he doesn't give us the best chance to win, then you adjust. But speculation as far as all right, if this player doesn't do his job down the road, will he still have his? I think it's pretty simple. We play the players that give us the best chance to win, and when that changes, or if that changes, or if somebody else gives us a better shot, then we adjust there. But I still absolutely don't forget all of the learning lessons and the growth that Tua has had over his career, and I'm counting on him to have the similar response, from this last game. But as far as conjectures go down the road for a headline, I don't see how that necessarily helps the Miami Dolphins play the Buffalo Bills.
That's a lot of words.
A lot of words.
I'm not benching him.
Yeah, I'm not benching him.
Yeah,
that's simple. I'm not benching
It's not
him.
on the table.
Yeah, it's not on the table. He gives us our best chance at winning against the Buffalo Bills.
Y'all must have forgot what Tua did for y'all a couple years ago. Anyway.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But heavy, I do love the heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Oh, of course.
Mike has used that a couple times.
Yes, in reference to Tua as well. I mean, but that's and look, that's one thing, and I will tell anybody this. Like, even though I might not be the biggest fan of Tua as a player, I respect what he does, right? Because when you think about the preparation that a franchise quarterback has to go through, just the idea of like you are really carrying the weight of this city on your back. Like, I respect for anybody that doesn't go out there and go crazy with all that pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure on this man, right? And love him, hate him, indifferent, like he's carried himself well. Now, it hasn't necessarily translated to the field this year, right? But before this year, obviously he's gotten banged up before, but like you don't hear about Tua, obviously Miami's a dangerous city, right? Like you don't hear about him in that and getting involved in that, right? And not to say that, I'm saying he would or anything like that. I'm just saying that like just the fact that he's, head on straight, handling the pressure well, even the last couple of weeks with him just, flat out just kind of being piss poor at times, right? He hasn't snapped or fired back at the media, even made a joke about himself talking about who said that throw the thing in bunches? Like, there's some brevity. He's bringing a little bit of brevity to the situation, right? It hasn't been we haven't seen salty Tua this year, for real. Like, not like when he came back last year, he was indignant, I believe was the word that I used. Like, this year he's just been like, I'm messing up. Like, I'm messing. Like,
listen, as I continue to say, we are where we are, and we've got the Buffalo Bills on Sunday coming to Hard Rock Stadium. I would be shocked if Bills did not own that stadium in terms of having maybe at least 40% of the fans there.
Yeah.
the question is, will the Dolphins have their focus, or will they take their foot off the gas, have a smorgasbord of distractions and let that play get to them? And if they do, how will that impact Mike's future? Because you're headed to Washington for the Spain game the very next week. You're actually leaving early in the week, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because afterwards, where it's the bye, we could be looking at full-scale changes. On that note, Dolphins in Depth, we are out. We will see you later this week, probably Wednesday, unless they have a trade on Tuesday, later this week, to give you an update on where the Dolphins are and as the dysfunction turns. On that note, we're out.